You are in the meeting now.
Recording in progress.
All right. Good morning, everybody. We got Host Plains and Sudan. Sudan, y'all feel like y'all's technology issue has been resolved? Can y'all hear me? How about y'all's microphones? Are those working? I heard something. Hold on, let me turn up the volume.
Is it working?
Yes, yes. Cool. All right, so hopefully those technology things stay fixed. All right, welcome to Friday, September 3rd. The agenda for today is to address any questions that you have over assignment 2, rational equations. If you have any lingering questions over assignment 1, we can answer those, but I'd rather answer assignment 2 questions. And then in the last 20 minutes of class or so, maybe last 25 minutes, I'm going to have the facilitators pass out quiz 1. Facilitators, if you haven't printed out quiz 1, I sent you an email on Wednesday with that quiz attached to it. So if you haven't printed it out and you don't have it ready to distribute, please go ahead and do that now so that it's ready to pass out. Again, this will be around 9:25, 9:30 or so that we start quiz 1. All right, so with that, let's open the floor to any questions over assignment 2, solving rational equations. Do we have any homework questions?
Can you go over
What number was that again?
20,
I didn't quite catch that.
22,
22, okay. Or 20,
20.
yeah. 20.
Excuse me, Mr. Clopton. This is the facilitator in post. I
Yes.
did not get an email from you. I'm emailing you right now with my email so that you can just attach that quiz for me, please.
Post. So, let's see, let me look at. All right, so I do not have any contact information from Post. If you could send me an email at jclopton@southplainscollege.edu. Did I just sit? Is this it? Did I just see? Aaron Ramsey?
Yes, sir.
All right. So students, hold on just a second. Let me get this sent to. Okay, Ms. Ramsey, I have just sent you an email that I sent to the facilitators, and please let me know if you get it. And
Yes, sir. I just got it. Thank you.
and I just got you added to my list of my email list. All right, so thank you very much. Glad we got that fixed. Okay, back to someone's homework question. I believe it was 20. Was that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I was helping a student with this problem in one of my other classes, And for these types of problems, I just can't help myself. I have to go through and rewrite these problems as a as an equation. So basically I'm going through. I'm going to translate English into math. I'm going to translate English into math. So I'm going to read this out loud. It says when 60% of a number, stop. 60% of a number literally means, first of all, we're going to take and realize that 60% as a decimal form is 0.60, or we can just write 0.6. So when I read when 60% of a number, so I have 0.6x, because that's my unknown, is added, stop. So we have 60% of a number is added, so added means plus, to itself. Now, this is where English, you have to understand what this means. When you say added to itself, itself is referring back to the number. Well, what is the number? We don't know what it is. We're calling it x. So we have when 60% of a number is added to itself, the result is, alright, so when we say the result is, that indicates that we have an equal sign, 192. So this is what we're having to do in this problem. We're having to translate this problem from an English statement into a mathematical equation. And then it's just a matter of going through the process of solving. And the trick here is to recognize that we have like terms, and this has a coefficient of 1. So when you have 0.6x plus 1x, the result is 1.6x is equal to 192. And then to get x by itself, you would divide both sides by 1.6. And let's see, where's my calculator? There's my calculator. I put a decimal in there, not meaning to. Let me clean that up. (192) divided by 1.6, x is equal to 120. Does that make sense?
Yes, teacher.
You're very welcome. Yeah, those English word problems. The trick is finding a way to translate this into mathematics. All right, what else can we look at? What else do we need to look at?
Number 11, please.
Number 11. We have a 1 over an x minus 4 minus 5 over a x plus 2 is equal to 6 over an x squared minus 2x minus 8. So, I'm glad you asked. We got a rational equation here. So, there's two things that we need to be thinking of here. We need to be thinking about how are we going to clear the equation of the fractions. How do we make those fractions go away? And the other thing that we have to be thinking about are what let's write it like this, what x cannot equal. what can x not equal? So let's first of all talk about how we declare the equation of fractions. The trick here in these problems is to think about that one denominator that can be factored. We can't factor this denominator, we can't factor this denominator, but this denominator we can factor. So this is a trinomial. We know the factored form is going to be two sets of parentheses. Because the leading coefficient is 1, we know we have x and x. So we're asking the question, what are the factors of -8 that add up to -2? Another way to say that is what multiplies to make -8 but adds together to give me -2? The answer is going to be a -4 and a +2. And this is kind of the theme that you see throughout these problems. This trinomial, when you factor it, ends up being the product of your other two denominators. This is your LCD, which then means you're going to go through this process of saying, all right, I have x minus 4 times an x plus 2 over 1 times the 1 over x minus 4 minus the x minus 4 times the x plus 2 over 1 times the 5 over x plus 2 is equal to, one last time, the x minus 4 times the x plus 2 all over 1 times, that 6 over, I'm going to write it as x minus 4 times an x plus 2. All right, now, at this point, if you've gotten this far in the solving process, you know what happens. Things start canceling out. Cancel, 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 cancel. And you're left with this. You have an x plus 2 times a 1 minus an x minus 4 times a 5 is equal to 6. So to the person that asked this question, did you get to this point right here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, before I go on, I want to go back and answer this question, what can x not equal? So this question about what can x not equal comes from the idea that if you have anything divided by, if I have, let's say, some number, 3 divided by 0, the result is undefined. The idea is that you cannot divide by 0. So throughout these problems, you should have been asking yourself, what can x not equal? And so when I'm looking at, let's say, this first denominator right here, if x minus 4 is equal, if x minus 4 cannot be equal to 0, this expression cannot be 0 because 1 divided by 0 would be undefined. That means that x cannot equal, add 4 to both sides, x cannot equal 4. And same thing over here, if x plus 2 cannot be equal to 0, that then means that x cannot equal -2. Now, because the factored form of this trinomial results in the product of our two other denominators, it's the same thing for over here. X cannot equal 4 and x cannot equal -2. So, of all the possible answers that exist for this problem, it cannot be equal to 4 or -2. Does that make sense? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Does that make sense why? Okay, there's the thumbs up. Alright, see it. So now you gotta go through and solve. And I'm gonna let you do this But I want to point out a couple of things. When we're dealing with this x minus 4 in parentheses, we have to do two things. Not only do we have to distribute the 5, but you have to distribute that subtraction sign and make it a negative. So the result is distribute the 1, that's x plus 2. Then you have 5 times x is a 5x, but make it a negative, so negative 5x. 5 times a negative 4 is a negative 20, but make it what's the opposite of negative 20? That's a positive 20, which equals 6. And I have a sneaky suspicion that for this problem, that when you go through and solve, you're going to get either x equals 4 or x equals negative 2, which is going to be a contradiction. Negative 4x plus 22 is equal to 6. So negative 4x is equal to negative 16, which then makes x equal to 4, which that is a contradiction. Because we've already declared that x cannot be equal to 4. So since this supersedes your solution over here, you have a contradiction, that leads us to no solution. That make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, what else can we look at in assignment 2? Have y'all completed assignment 2? Put it that way. Have y'all finished assignment 2? Alright. One school has. What about anybody else from the other schools? Have y'all completed assignment 2? Anybody? Hard to tell. I know I saw some hands from Sudan, but I didn't see anybody else from the other schools. Any other questions? Now is the time to ask. Last opportunity, because I'm about to move on to something else. Alright, I'm getting a thumbs up from one school, so unless any other students chime in, we're moving on to a different topic. Okay. So, looking at this weekend and leading into next week, what do we have going on? All right. For Wednesday, September, that's going to be the 8th. We have no school. On Monday, Labor Day holiday. For Wednesday on September 8th, we have assignment 3 and assignment 4. That's what we're going to be talking about on Wednesday of next week. So I believe I put the folder up for week 2 up last night. I know that was a little bit, I'm going to have week 3 up before too long. So I hope not to have y'all waiting. Yep, week 2. These 2 assignments are up in week 2 folder along with assignment 5. And so that's what we have going on Wednesday of next week. Also, turn in notes and homework for assignment 1 and 2 by Sunday, 11:59 p.m. And we're going to go through and we're going to talk about how do you turn stuff in. And this is what we're going to be doing for the quiz. So I'm going to transition out of my notes page. Let's open up Blackboard. All right. Let's make sure that I'm logged in under the right go. All right, so we're about to take a quiz in the next 5 minutes or so. You're going to be, we're going to try this for today. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't work, we'll figure something else out. But you're going to need a cell phone ready to go, not during the quiz, but as soon as you're done, with something like Cam Scanner ready to go on your phone. If you watch the videos, this third video is how I go through and show you how to use Cam Scanner. What I'm going to show you now is how to upload in the Blackboard. You can do this on your phone or another computer, but when you go to course content for week 1, we're going to use week 1 assignments as an example. You click this link, and it's going to take you to another website called Gradescope.com. And what you're going to see is this page called, or this link right here called Week 1 Notes and Homework. You click that link, and it's going to ask you to submit a PDF. So we'll just click Submit PDF, and it's going to ask you to select the PDF file. If you're on your phone, I'm going to browse my local files, and I'll find a local file, whatever I've called it. You're going to hit Upload PDF, and that's going to upload your PDF into Blackboard, or not in Blackboard, in the Gradescope. What I will then go through and do is I will then go through and grade things within Gradescope, and then those grades will post to your gradebook in Blackboard, and you'll also be able to see my annotations here when I grade things in Gradescope. And so this is what you're going to be doing for the week 1 assignments, and in a little bit, you don't see it yet, but in a little bit, another link is going to open up called Week 1 Quiz. That's how you're going to submit your work. So, at this time, facilitators, if you would go ahead and pass out those quizzes. The quiz is only 5 questions. This is a no notes, no homework quiz. You can use your calculator. This is to test your, do you know what you're talking about? This is only over assignment 1, linear equations. There is no rational equations on this assignment. There is a fractional equation, but it's not rational. It doesn't have a variable in the denominator. So, students, as you're working on the quiz, of course, you're doing your own work. You're not using other resources such as your neighbor or your cell phone. Facilitators, I asking you that during this time you just watch your students, make sure that they are just adhering to good student conduct during this time. Students, when you finish your quiz, I would suggest that you take a look at it over just one more time before you're ready to turn it in. Teachers, please allow this to happen. Take your cell phone out when you're finished and use a scanning app like CamScanner or any other app that you have decided to use and scan your quiz, convert it to a PDF file, and then go through and practice submitting that work into Blackboard. I'm going to double check and make sure that link comes up. If you have any questions, please let me know. Students, if you're having trouble with doing this, and it's a lingering problem, don't worry, you can just have your facilitator email it to me, but I would like for us to be able to do this all within the confines of this class setting. So I'm just going to be quiet for just a moment while y'all working those quizzes. Oh, that's why. That's why. Okay, please do not feel like I'm rushing you at all. Um, if you have finished your quiz, um, please take the time now to try going through that submission process of using your cell phone, making a PDF file of your quiz, and then going through that, uploading that quiz into Blackboard. If you have finished your quiz, go ahead and try to do that at this point. If you're still working, don't worry, we still got a whole entire 15 minutes of class. Cool. So just so you know, I have quizzes from Marka and Brayley. Is it Brayley or Briley? Brayley. So cool. I have y'all's quizzes. This is
It's Brayley.
Brayley. Okay. Sorry about that. While y'all are students that are still working on the quiz, please continue to work. I want to point out a couple of things real quickly. first thing, when you're in Blackboard, these two links, they really bring you to the same place. If you look at where week 1 assignments brings you, it takes you into Gradescope, where you have your week 1 notes and quiz. If we close that out, this one also brings you into the same area. So I may abandon having two links up there because they all bring you to the same place. I just thought it would make more sense to do it that way. When you look at the week 1 notes and homework, the first thing that you're going to see up here is that your instructor has provided a PDF to help you complete your assignment. All this PDF is just a reminder about what's due. That's all that PDF is. When you look at the week 1 quiz, there is no upload a PDF file, or there's no thing to help you with, because these are going to be given in-class quizzes unless we're under different circumstances. The other thing I want to point out is this bar right here. This is kind of telling you how much time you have left. For the week 1 notes and homework, you still have 2 days, 14 hours left to complete that assignment. Now, the reason that week 1 quiz says that you have 1 hour and 19 minutes left, well, this is because I still have my next class, my 10 o'clock class, and they are still going to be taking the same quiz, so I have to account for them as well. There's not a way for me to split this here between the two different sections. So for today, I have that you have, if we just get rid of this 1 hour, you have 19 minutes left. That carries us past 9:50. That will give you just a little bit more time to make sure you get those submissions turned in. We are, got another student turned in her stuff in. If you are having trouble getting this submitted in a Blackboard, you finished the quiz and you're just having trouble getting things to work out correctly, you can turn it. The facilitators, please allow students to turn in their quiz to you, and then you can scan the quiz and email it to me later on today. Please let me know that this is happening, so I can be aware and look for that email from you, the facilitator, or yes, facilitators. The student should have completed the quiz in our time slot. So if you have a student and we reach the end of our time today and they haven't completed the quiz, you're just going to have to ask them to turn in what they have. Please do not go beyond the 9:50 mark. I created a 10-minute cushion just in case we're having some technical issues with the upload process. So if it comes to a time where you got to go to your next class and you haven't got it submitted to me, please hand it to your facilitator. Facilitators, please scan and email me those extra quizzes today. That way I can have those uploaded. I can upload them into Gradescope myself. Cool, we got Enrique. I have your quiz, so thank you. Alright, looks like we're having some student learning, figuring out how to do this CAM scanner thing. Awesome. I didn't do it on this quiz, but the next quiz, or, how about this? When you turn in your, assignment 1 notes and homework, notes and homework for assignment 1 and 2, somewhere on your paper, preferably the first page, make sure you include your name and make sure that you include your school. So, for example, Sudan. John Smith from Sudan. I just like to know what school you are in case I need to reach out to a specific facilitator or something like that. So please make sure that you include your name and your school when you turn in your notes and homework for assignments 1 and 2. Awesome. So, I'm gonna guess it's Micah Carter. Is that right? Micah?
Your conference is scheduled to end in 2 minutes.
Is that a thumbs up? Yes? Okay. Edgar, Lisseth, Allie, and Sean. I got all of y'all's quizzes. So one last time, for any student that's still lingering trying to get that quiz turned in, we're approaching the 9:50 mark, so that's going to end our class. Once that 9:50 mark comes around, you need to turn in what you have. If you're having trouble turning it in, please turn it into your facilitator. Facilitator, then please scan and email it to me. I had trouble hearing that. What was that?
Are we free to go?
Yes, if you're done, yes. So at this point, I'm formally dismissing class for students
Your
that
conference
finished.
is now over. Goodbye.
Let me know if you didn't get your quiz turned in on time, and have this facilitator turn it in. Okay, interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many students do I have in the first class?